Let's try it. You know, I'm not sure that I'd want to lay here too long. Oh, God. Yeah, no, not for sleeping.
This bench is just one example of efforts made by the City of Montreal to discourage the unhoused from sleeping in public. One example of many in the city.
What we have here is a large, tall new ventilation system that was just installed this year. And this used to be a vent that blew heat right down onto the ground, and a person could, even in the winter, you know, just by sitting under the vent, stay warm.
David Chapman is the executive director of Resilience Montreal, a homeless shelter with a large number of clientele who are Indigenous, some even second-generation residential school survivors.
This is an example of some of the measures that are put in place to just sort of steer the unhoused away.
This is not only seen in redesigning public spaces, but policies too. Montreal's transit system, known as the STM, reintroduced a move-along order on June 18th. This order gives special STM constables additional power to respond and remove those who are occupying the metro and not using it to commute. The order was first introduced in March of this year, lasting 7 weeks. Chapman had this to say to APTN News about it back then.
So what's going to happen? We push people out of the metros. Well, that solves the problem for the STM officials, but where do the people then go?
Chapman said the move-along order was bringing out larger crowds of clientele to Resilience, forcing some to sleep in hallways. Now he's seeing these effects again. APTN News reached out to the STM, but it did not grant us an interview. The STM says the justification for bringing back the move-along order is that safety improved during the first implementation of this order, for both riders and workers. In a press release announcing the reintroduction of these measures, STM Board of Directors Chair Eric Allen Caldwell stated, "The real solution to the issue of homeless people sheltering in metros is a tangible and sustainable response to help the vulnerable, including more funding for resources all year long." More funding for resources is a sentiment Chapman agrees with. But he says much of the focus from governments has been on housing initiatives, instead of balancing this with support for emergency services.
Organizations that try to operate and offer a safe place to people while they're working it out can't find funding, because the message that governments are getting is stick the money directly into housing first programs.
He says homeless support centers should be available in every neighborhood in Montreal.
If we keep this up, we won't be ending homelessness, but we might be ending homeless people.
Savannah Craig, APTN National News, Montreal.